So we are in open session, so the first item was acceptance of meeting minutes, October 3rd, 2023.
Motion to approve as written.
Second.
All those in favor by roll call?
Langen, aye.
Women's eye.
Absolutely aye.
You weren't here.
Aye.
Oh, never mind. I abstain.
Dan's abstaining. Oh my
That
god.
was the last meeting.
Here, let me help
Alright,
you.
application submissions, for request for certificate of compliance and right there, 30 Finn Park Road. Is there anyone here for that specifically?
Melissa, if I may,
Yes.
so Anne had another commitment to
Okay.
go to tonight. I don't wanna speak on Bree's behalf, but a site visit still needs to be conducted.
So you haven't gone yet?
And I just got the plan today, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like they submitted the COC request and the as-built you said you had, so for the next meeting, we will take a look. Do we wanna schedule group one as well, or do we just wanna go individually through the next
What's the address
meeting?
again?
Huh?
What was the address on that one?
30 Finn Park,
Oh,
yeah, 30 Finn Park.
I'm good with that one.
I'm going Friday 8 AM.
Friday at 8?
That's when I'm going.
Yeah.
Okay, this Friday?
Yeah.
Alright, so you can either join Bree or just between the next meeting, we will visit. Okay. Request for determination of applicability, Ridge Road and Wachusett Road. Julianne, are you here for that?
Yes, I am.
You wanna just do a quick update and then?
Yep. So, what we've done is we've pulled everything out of the 100-foot buffer. We moved the septic outside the 200-foot
Is this the 200?
area.
Yep.
The Zone A as shown on the GIS Zone A maps. So everything conforms to Title V and the Wetland Protection Act. And we decided that while we're doing it, just get everything out of your 100-foot buffer. So this is a determination saying that what's proposed, you have no jurisdiction over.
I think you had some comments. Yes. You wanna go over those?
I don't know if, does that plan have a limit of work on it?
It does not. It has a 100-foot zone, and that was discussed at the last meeting, and you can note that as the 100-foot buffer is the limit of work.
Are there gonna be erosion controls at the 100-foot?
No, not proposing that.
So that was part of my comments, that either erosion controls or some sort of barrier be put in.
We could stake it out, survey-wise, have it defined accurately. That's the 100-foot buffer prior to construction. That's not a problem with that.
Would you be willing to put like a straw wattle at the stake?
I think that's an expense that's over and beyond what's required, but I think a stake with flags, in this particular case, you're probably looking at, that's 200 feet, so every 25 feet
Or at least along that maybe
along
driveway?
along that whole line.
Maybe not the whole way, but maybe where that driveway turnaround is?
Yep, we could do that. We can do those yep. That way it'll show everybody, stay out of there. We understand that's what we need to do.
So I've spoken with DEP about this, and it's been made clear to me that if the commission chooses, which the commission has the right to choose, to give this a negative determination and there is no limit of work on the plan, that we are opening ourselves up. Julian's also opening himself up for DEP to intervene again, so it is my recommendation to not give a determination on this until a limit of work is on the plan, for that reason.
What are we opening up to? What is being open without showing that? We have a defined line. I said that we can use that line and we can add, you can make a condition in the determination. That line is to be staked by a licensed professional land surveyor prior to any construction. That's not opening anybody up to anything. That is very solid. If they cross the line, then you send out your forces and give them a fine.
Does any commissioners have comments, questions?
I think it can be conditioned that the 100-foot line be staked by a surveyor prior to start of work,
Prior to what?
prior to start of work.
Start of work. They said prior to survey. I was
It's my buffalo act.
Yeah. Scott, any questions or comments? Jared?
Just one thing to note, I was looking at the topography on the plan, I just wanted to note this for our benefit, public's benefit. It looks like based on the grading, in general, runoff from the limit of work area, what we would call the limit of work, looks like generally runs in an easterly direction, and the wetlands are to the south. So I think the potential for any impacts, sediment migration, things like that, are fairly minimal in this case. And obviously, all the work is at least just outside the 100-foot buffer. So with respect to putting up an erosion control barrier, I don't see a huge need for it in this case, based on the topography.
Okay. Skip, do you have anything? Questions, comments?
I'm good.
Joe, no?
Nothing.
Reed, did you have anything else that you had comments about?
I mean, I said them in the email. I think the limit of work should be on the plan. I think that we should have some sort of stakes, some sort of way to know where the buffer is. And then have that conditioned that if work were to surpass and get into the 100-foot buffer zone, then we do need an NOI. And those are recommendations based off of conversations I've had with DEP. And this one, I mean, it would be nice, but it might not be completely necessary. But if we can have the buffer zone, put boulders to kind of limit, I guess, any future development past and into the buffer zone. But that's a recommendation from DEP. That one is kind of, I think the least of our worries right now. I think we do need a limit of work, so that way DEP doesn't feel the need to intervene, but that's all I can say.
Okay. Thank you. I did hear some opinions about just conditioning it upon the 100-foot buffer zone. Is that the consensus, or do we want a revised plan that shows that?
Do you want me to make a motion?
If you so desire.
I do.
Before you do, just one other thing, just with regards to a limit of work line. In general, for site plans, I mean, that's usually standard practice for a site plan to show a limit of work. I mean, looking at this plan and the grading, I can generally see where it would land. And obviously, everything's outside the 100-foot buffer. I personally don't see any harm in adding a limit of work line to the plan, especially if it will make this process a little bit smoother. If DEP has already said that, they may intervene if that's not on there. I don't know, it seems like it.
Can we just agree on it though? Do we agree that the limit of work line is the 100-foot buffer line that's going to be staked?
The thing is, it's not,
can
it's
agree.
not
Can you-
the
Just
whole
if
plan
they-
though.
But
It's-
can you put it in writing that way?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is at least it's in writing.
Yep, so.
I mean, it'd be much easier if you put it on there, but again,
We could say that. The thing is, in some areas, it's further.
Right.
In some of the areas, there's a little bit of grading that's probably 120 feet, 150 feet away.
right.
So I don't know, I guess if you're being ultra conservative, saying the 100-foot buffer is the limit of work, I suppose you could say that.
If you put it in black and white,
Yeah,
So the limit of work shall be
if
no
DEP wants
closer
to
than
pick it
100
on
feet.
because it's in black and white and not in different, it's just in a different spot in the same thing.
yeah,
Instead of having, and if they want to kick it back, let them kick it back.
yeah, no, that's true.
Let them kick it back.
I personally like to see a limit of work line.
In the future, Julie, can we have limited work lines?
I will, but in this
Thank you.
case, I'm
I-
outside your zone, but in the
But in
future,
the
I do
future-
put it on. If you look at the last plans we've done,
I
we
know.
always have it now.
Well,
I will definitely do that.
in the
No
future,
problem.
thank you.
What did you say for how far apart you'd stake?
25 feet,
About 20.
you win.
23 and a half.
23 and a half!
I guess I'm gonna say 22 and a half. If you
No,
want them
we had
5
to
feet,
win.
no problem.
That'd be on the upper side.
Right, Skip?
Yep, no problem.
Do we want them any closer where the driveway is, though? Where it comes right up to the 20
25
foot?
feet's pretty close.
But is that
Oh,
20?
where like the bump out
But
is?
no, where the bump out is,
Yeah.
right here,
I would say if you just have one of the stakes be right at that pinch point, right there.
right at this corner?
Yep.
So it'd be one at that wall and one at this wall. You can't figure out between there and there. This is like
Well,
28 feet.
I think we're most concerned with just this section right here,
Because that's the closest.
where that, cause it's the closest, right where the
So we'll put
driveway
'em
bump
right on the
is.
ends of where that driveway is, so that I'm gonna
So-
make sure whoever's doing this doesn't cross that line, or it's gonna cost them a lot.
So at least put one where the test pit location was.
Yep.
Okay.
That's fine.
And then go
Well, now,
here,
just so you realize, just throwing this out there, that area is disturbed right now, cause there was a test pit to find out what was going on. So there was a little bit of,
Yeah, that's allowed though.
That's allowed.
That's allowed.
okay, I just don't wanna have somebody say, oh, look at, they went over the line. So, that's on the table. We're good. 20 feet and really barricade stakes so they don't cross right at that spot.
What,
Perfect.
I have one question, Bree. You said DEP may intervene on this. How would they do that?
appeal our
What would be
decision,
the? Huh?
That's
Can
the-
appeal
I,
our decision.
can I speak on that? I talked to Muriel Stone and told her this is what I'm doing, cause this isn't an appeal process. And then
All
I'm,
right,
and I'm going, everyone
So
seems
with
to forget
this-
the history.
so with, to bring that up, so with this, if this gets through, would then you withdraw
That's
your
gone.
other, okay.
That's how I talked with Muriel.
Alright.
I said, so
Good to have
that's why I'm,
All right, so my question still stands.
so they have
I'm
nothing to
asking
intervene.
Bree, given that the buffer is here, what would cause, how would they do that? How would they intervene?
They can ask for whatever they want.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, how, I was just told that it's, the commission and whoever is the applicant of this project is opening themselves up to that possibility.
But that's why I'm asking.
I don't know,
but
they
what
didn't
is-
tell me how.
She's just the messenger, that's
Yeah,
just.
she's just the messenger.
Again, Joe, doesn't
It's
matter,
DEP's
it's
decision.
indifferent.
No, I was just curious if there was some specific regulation or law
No.
that allowed them to do that, and I'm not recalling one.
No, me neither.
So why would DEP even say something like that? I mean, that just doesn't sound right to me. That they would say that, that's kinda overstepping their bounds.
Well, I think, what they would probably say is that if it's not conditioned that the 100-foot buffer zone is the limit of work, then this plan could be interpreted that it goes bigger. Not to say that it is or isn't, but because there's no defined, this is where we're stopping.
Right.
I would assume that would be their reasoning.
That kinda is the reasoning that
Right.
Okay,
was expressed to me.
that answers my question.
It's the only thing I could think of. Before we finish, is there anyone in the public who has any comments? This isn't quite a public hearing, but we can take comments. I'm not excited, but
Does the commission want me to go out and look at the stakes before construction begins, or
Yes,
Probably a good idea.
When are you gonna do that? Is that a fall thing or something? That's a winter?
Depends on the economy,
Okay.
and we're in a, right now.
So
Over
it's,
10
so it's a mystery development.
It's-
Okay.
It could be
Next week.
next week, or it could be next year.
Okay.
alright,
Why
so
don't you do your
we
48 hour?
So we want,
All we gotta do.
talked about stakes every 20 feet with care in the area of near the driveway. Agent to review stakes prior to construction, and
we,
the 100-foot buffer zone is the
It's
limit of
limit of
work.
work.
It was one word.
do you want them to actually have a revised plan saying limit of work?
no.
If we're closing it, then we shouldn't,
Okay,
you know what I mean?
That was it. That
Was
was
there
it.
one more?
No,
I think that was it.
that was it. There's nothing else to do.
We talked about potentially like straw walls or something, but.
Oh,
but-
and just the finding
We're not
of
doing
if work happens within the buffer zone,
Mhm.
notice
We
will
get
be
fined
submitted.
heavily. I agree.
That's more the finding, not really a, well, I guess a condition, but
Right.
that's law.
Right.
You know, little stuff.
Okay.
Alright. Is there a motion to that effect with those listed conditions?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
What number is it? For a negative determination?
3.
Three. Was there a second? I'm sorry.
I seconded.
Thank you. All those in favor by roll call.
Langer and I.
Williams, aye.
Capilucci, aye.
Dan's
Aye.
aye. Oh. I'm
Oh,
sharing.
aye.
Dan's aye. Alright, thank you.
You didn't forget yourself at least.
That's true. Alright, request for determination of applicability, George Johnson, 37, Glenwood. Is there anyone here?
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone here for 37 Glenwood? I hope no one's speaking, cause we can't hear anything.
Sorry, just to go back, did we say that was number 3 under negative determination? I think it's number 4. 3 is when work is in the buffer zone.
So 4.
4 is work described in this request is not within an area subject to protection under the
But
act.
we'll add the conditions underneath it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be
Good catch,
4.
thanks Jerry.
Oh, it is in the buffer.
It's not.
Is
It's
that what it
not,
says?
it's not.
Yeah, 3 is
3,
when
yeah,
it's in
3
the buffer.
says, 3 applies if it is in the buffer.
Gotcha.
Alright, I'm not seeing anyone for 37 Glenwood. Is this just a submission or a hearing?
No, I did publish it, so you guys can make a determination tonight.
What's up with
Good
that?
catch.
So I visited the site because a building permit came through for a pool house. And
I will stop this and redo it.
I got, well, what was submitting to the building permit process was a hand-drawn plan. So it was kind of hard to really tell how far this pool house was gonna be set back from the wetlands, because there are wetlands behind the property. It looked like it might have been 5 or 10 feet behind the wetlands. Again, unclear hand-drawn plan. So I decided to put this permit on hold, and I reached out to the homeowner, George, and I went out, took a visit. I believe I showed her site plan, or site visit summary. It's a pretty big pool that's being installed. There's a lot of land it's an in-ground pool, so there's a lot of land disturbance. Again, the wetland boundary is not defined, but a pool house is not an accessory structure, so it's not an exempt activity. I think that it's probably in the buffer zone, or the disturbance for the pool house would probably be in the buffer zone. So what I did was I spoke with the landowner and I said, let's just file everything under a retroactive RDA, so that way we can get everything into compliance. I had him, so there was not any silt fence up, which if an RDA had come before us first, before the pool was being installed, I think we would have conditioned a silt fence. So I had him put silt fence up, and I'm expecting that this RDA would get a negative determination under the condition that a silt fence be up and that it's seeded as soon as all work is done. So it was just mainly for compliance, that's all. I think he has a silt fence up already, so everything is fine, just to get it on our books that we looked at it, because it's really close to the buffer zone.
But looking at that, start of wetlands, so you get 75 and 65? You get 75 feet to the property line, and 65 feet from the property line to the side of the wetlands? That's what that says, right?
I'm not sure, I
Well,
mean,
did you-
that's what he's saying,
Well, that's what he said, but what, you said you saw it.
I saw it,
Yeah.
and I don't know where the wetland ends, because he did not have it flagged. So there's definitely wetland there, I went and I saw the wetland. Where
Is he
exactly
within
the
100 feet
line
of it?
is,
You think he's within 100 feet?
I think pool house will be 100%.
So those plans are wrong then. Because by those plans, he probably wouldn't be.
That's what I'm just asking.
I think, I'm looking at the GIS map, I think the 60, am I reading that right? Does it say
65.
65-ish?
Yeah.
I think that is based on the DEP wetland line off the GIS map,
So
which is, of course, we know is not always accurate.
Right. Right.
But I think that's what this sketch
Well,
is based
that's
on.
the reason I added 65 and 75. I'm like, well, you're well above 100. That's right. And by that scale, you're going,
No, I do not think that he was 40 feet, 65 plus
Okay,
75 was
yeah.
140. No, he was not that far away.
okay.
So, I think it's just appropriate for this to be looked at by the commission, or at least looked at by me. And, that silt fence be installed, because the topography of the site is such that runoff from these big stockpiles, which I did take pictures of and put them in the site visit summary, would lead right into the wetland. So I think, silt fence is appropriate. Get the pool done, that's fine,
Yeah.
just some silt fence.
And you said the pool house itself was not considered accessory to a single family?
Yeah, so I spoke with DEP and pool house is not considered accessory. So actually it's,
Weird because a pool is,
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
right? Well, let me put a pool house.
A shed is, but a shed that exceeds 20 by 20 is now not an exempt activity. So there's special conditions that are, you gotta tease them out, I think, with
Yeah.
the applicant.
Do you
Yeah.
go usually through Mia?
Yeah. So yeah, I actually wanna speak with the building department and just see like what their building code is, because, if it's more than 20 by 20 and it's a shed, then it's no longer an exempt activity for us. So I just want me and building to be on the same page, so I'll talk with them later this week, but.
So just, sounds like erosion control around the limit of work in the form of a silt fence.
Yep.
And to be inspected when in.
It's already in.
It's already in, yep, he was good about it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Any other questions from commissioners? Is there anyone from the public who has any comments? Okay. I'll accept a motion.
Sorry,
You do it.
Just say so moved. Come on.
I don't want you to.
Make a motion.
So negative determination
determination.
with silt fence.
Number 3.
Number 3, for real this time.
Second.
Damn, please.
All those in favor by roll call?
Langer, aye.
Wilmenstein.
Gentilucci, aye.
Oh, wait.
Walk by.
Dog eye.
Danza, aye. All right, so that one is all set. Next up, as-built for certificate of compliance request 16 Walnut Street. That's you, okay. All right. Do you wanna, where were we at last meeting?
Last meeting, we approved the certificate of compliance on the condition that we received an as-built
As-built,
plan with
right.
certain things.
Okay.
Yep.
So do you have any?
So we talked to our builder, I think possibly talked to this Julian.
This is Julian.
Yeah, and basically we would need another site survey to add those details, and our builder was noting that those are requirements he's seen historically for subdivisions and larger projects, but not single-family homes, and though that's a new requirement for a single-family home. So basically, from our perspective, it would cost a whole new site visit, which would be the third one,
I know.
not on you, but which would be the third one we had to get, because we had to have a second one due to town, other reasons outside of this committee. So now this would be the third time we've had to pay for a site visit, which is not a cheap situation, for these conditions that they didn't seem aware of ahead of time.
So it was on your ordered, so the permit for the original construction since the beginning. I don't know if, was there any other discussions, but I think that's pretty standard practice now for single-family homes.
Can I try to help them out?
Sure.
If you look at the site plan, the septic as built, everything was built exactly per the plan. we had a boundary right behind the house, cause they have a watershed restriction. They did not cross that. We actually staked that out for construction about every 25 feet, so that they stayed out of it.
Yep.
So they were out of that, and that used to be a cornfield. That cornfield went right down to the water. So typically, on their behalf, in this particular case, their grass is, you probably mowed it 10 times already.
Yeah, it's fully.
I don't think it was a
it's-
stabilization
It's
issue.
completely stabilized. The as-built shows, the house was built where it was shown, the septic was built where it was shown, and the grading was done accordingly per the original design plan.
So is there an ability just to turn that wetland layer on
So, but
the
that's.
survey you have for the
There
as-built?
is, but now that creates another plan, and the guy who stamps it doesn't stamp nothing unless he reviews every part of it, so there is an expense to it. I understand this is the policy and it was in the rules. I've only been doing this in this town since 1986, not to age myself, but we didn't have to go to that extent up until just recently. And we will at this point, no question about it. I'm telling everybody that you gotta do a septic as-built, foundation as-built, and if you have an order of conditions,
Grading and such.
a grading and a certification that it's built exactly per what was required. But just on their behalf, they were squeezed into one little spot and they did it, and it's all stabilized. So if that could be, if I could help get them, this get released without doing any more, not that I don't wanna, your business, I appreciate it, but it's just, it's semantics at this point but it is another document that can get scrutinized, stamped by a professional licensed person. And I don't take any chances that everything on there is exactly they are, so.
Did we get, with the COC request, a stamped letter from the engineer certifying
I can do
it?
that,
I
saying
think-
that everything was built in accordance. I can do that for them and make this just go away. If that's all right with you guys.
Yeah.
Adjourn.
Did we have in the order of conditions, did we include
As-built.
an as-built, was it under our special conditions?
Mhm.
We did,
Yeah, it's
okay.
condition number 39, Jared.
Okay. I was trying to find it and I can't. And I may just be looking in the wrong spot.
39, Jared.
So I think that's,
Yeah.
yeah, so that doesn't have the conditions attached to it.
No, it does not.
Yeah, because I do the orders through the EDEP website, so then the special conditions are a separate
Right.
document, but it is on the SharePoint if you're looking for it.
So we can either stick with requiring the updated as-built or having a stamped PE letter certifying that the project was built in compliance with the approved plans. With no deviations.
If that requirement was in the order of conditions, wouldn't it be the responsibility of the builder to produce that as-built plan, not the current residents
It falls on the property owner,
at
unfortunately.
this point?
Yeah.
Ultimately, it all comes out of the same pocket.
If the builder still owned it, then yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, no.
I'm okay with a letter from an engineer personally.
Yes.
Letter.
Yes.
Letter.
Alright, moving forward. Get it up to snuff, Julian.
Write the letter.
Write
Alright,
the letter.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have the septic design? Do we have the septic one?
Yeah.
Yes,
You
it's
have
on
the
the,
septic
Okay, I thought we did.
as-built.
Okay,
It's just
well,
like-
guess what?
Foundation
It's just
as-built.
like this house and this empty
Right.
little square.
That's fine. As long as we at least have.
Yep, we have something.
I just found the special conditions.
so I just wanted to make sure you guys know, so I'll email you the certificate of compliance. You just wanna make sure you record it with the registry of deeds to make sure that that clears it from your title. Okay?
Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
We won't let leave this in the future, will we? This issue?
We're done. No. I'd say moving forward.
Would you say a motion to adjourn?
No, so close. So close. Alright, conservation agent update, discussion of site visit to Route 56 and other items needed. I think I see Adele on here as well.
Yep, Della's here. I took a walk with Scott.
We had a great walk. It was
It
lovely.
was good. It was good because I got to take pictures of sediment that was deposited at Molten Pond Dam and then also downstream of that. So kind of showing that the sediment is traveling and depositing, right? So DOT has been asking me to, I guess on Google Maps or in some form, put in pins of where there is sediment. So, you know, I will do that. I have a lot of site visits. I'm gonna try and do that tomorrow morning at 7 AM. Cause I'm gonna get in at 7 AM.
Kind of feel like the state should be
Yeah.
doing that,
Yeah.
personally.
Well, and I also walk the site, so I mean with them, so
If you know-
I'm
yeah.
showing them the exact locations.
Did you walk to them Friday too?
Yes,
Did you and I
yes.
walk Wednesday?
We walked Wednesday and on
Friday
Friday
you walk with them.
I visited the same
This
sites.
is on them. This is on them at this point.
Has anybody from DEP
Brianna?
actually been down here to look?
Yes, is that Tracy?
Yes, it is, sorry. No, I don't need the map anymore because you walked the sites with Adele, so we just are waiting to set up the time for the wetland specialist to come out.
Okay.
Can I add while we're talking about this?
Yeah.
Okay, so the other thing that Bree and I did talk about is the biggest thing, because of the time that's going on this, I mean, it's down the river, it's going,
Yeah.
it's still moving. They need to figure out a stopgap measure for now to contain it where it is.
Yes.
It's going down the river. So Jesse, is this why you're here?
Yep.
They really need to stop it in his pond.
I was gonna say, you're Milton.
Yeah, so Jesse, they own the mill house. So
all
again,
coming back.
it's in there, but it's below it. They need to stop it in his pond so it goes no farther. Cause you can see where it comes in, you can see it. And then they're gonna need to dredge his pond. Whether they want to or not, because it's all over it. But they need to stop it because it's going down river. So that needs to be done now.
Yep.
Because it's been 12 weeks, when did I send that for?
July 16th.
July, it's been since July and it's still moving. So the big thing is,
Regular rain now, it's just
It's
every
daily.
time it rains, it
Right.
just comes in and it forms.
Right.
How bad it
I mean,
was.
so
Yeah.
that's one of those, and there's not doing much right now, but it's kind of one of those, if they don't figure a way to stop it from migrating, should really just shut the whole project down till they do. Not
Yeah,
burn
well-
the walls, but
Yeah,
they've
it's
had
making its
plenty-
way all the way to there.
they've had plenty of time to stop it.
I was down at Thayer Pond.
Excuse me.
Did you go down at Thayer Pond there, Scott, and take a look at it?
Hold on a sec.
Go ahead, Tracy.
Who is speaking just then? I'm sorry, I'm not aware of which members are which.
Oh, that's Scott Langren.
Joe Delacroix.
Okay, I don't think Scott Langren can even participate in this meeting because he's a direct abutter. I'm not sure if he's aware of the open meeting law and conflict of interest laws, but you might want to look into that. I'm not trying to be,
Well, you are, but that's fine.
that should not be happening. I'm not saying that the project doesn't have an issue or not. I think the wetland scientist needs to go out there and they need to determine, because, we don't know if there's anything out there that's historical or if it's all fresh. And I still don't even know exactly where, but Adele did just walk it with Brianna. So we know the locations now that you have concerns with. But again, I think you can't just say that we have to go and dredge some pond. I think, we need a professional opinion on that. And then, if the commission does not agree with that position, then we have to go from there.
Okay, so
I can't say,
So Tracy, what's the timeline on that? Cause I know a couple meetings ago, that was something that, we talked about and requested getting that kind of assessment of the sedimentation into the ponds.
Yep, and the only thing I was waiting for was to find out the exact locations, and now we know them. So I'm waiting to hear back on a time that the wetland scientists can be out there during your hours.
To coordinate with Bree? Okay,
Correct.
okay. I think that's something that I would put on high priority since it has been a little bit, regardless, I think, of who made the comments at this point, it is still factual, it is moving. I think that's something that Bree witnessed as well. So I would definitely, as soon as possible, especially prior to our next meeting, try and have at least the beginning of an assessment and, plan to stop it from moving further. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's the goal, definitely.
Okay. So yeah, I think it's high priority. I think we'd like to emphasize that and work out with Bree a good time. I'm sure the wetland scientists can go out as well, knowing the locations without her, to at least do some initial assessments. Okay.
Yeah, if she wants to be there, then we need to coordinate it with her times.
I'd like to
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
To, take them specifically and then if the wetland scientist wants to go back out on their own and do things, fine, but,
Sure.
I'm gonna end up having to reach out to them anyways, so I feel like it just makes sense if that initial meeting, I can just talk with them and figure things out.
Yes, I would prefer that you were there.
Yeah,
Thank you. And not for nothing either, but it was a while that we were waiting on just trying to determine where the locations were exactly, because I did ask way back, and I know it's been a while, but we're finally to a point, so I think we need to just move forward, get the wetland specialists out there and go from there.
Okay. All right, is there?
Yes.
When the wetland specialists have come out before all this stuff even started happening?
So they would have,
Look at the projects going down 56 to look at the ponds on both sides.
they might not have documented sedimentation in there. I think I know what you're getting to. I think they would have looked at the edge.
Well, it was overlooked.
Yeah, okay. Any other comments from commissioners? Bree, any other things to note? Nope. Okay. All right, Tracy and Adele, I think we'd be looking for some progress the next meeting. And yeah, anything you need, please reach out to Bree and she'll get you what she can, but it really is on, I think, the state to do their due diligence and not kind of making Bree do the back leg of work. She's there for assistance, but.
Yep.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Brintnal Estates, discussion of replication area following site visit.
yes. So actually, it's been going well. I've been meeting with Tom regularly,
I was like, wait a second.
so.
Did I hear that?
We're pretty well acquainted now. But my main concern at this site visit, which took place last Friday, last Wednesday. I'm sorry, yes, it was Wednesday. Was the replication area, because I looked at a plan that was submitted, last year or something like that for the replication area. And it says in the plan that there is going to be silt fence, and also hay bales, even though in the special conditions, we say no hay bales. Regardless, there's supposed to be some sort of ECB, and silt fence. So I scheduled a time with Tom, and also Alan from DCR was there. And the silt fence magically appeared. I don't know how Tom knew that, but it was there. So that was great. That was a great surprise.
Christmas, early.
Yeah, it was good. But I plan to go back out this Friday with Tom. Well, if Tom can be there, but I'm gonna go regardless. And he also has the DEP signs up, which is something that I asked for, so that's good. And any time that I've seen sediment being deposited, beyond the silt fence, he's been good about getting it out. So it's just a matter of staying on top of things, walking it regularly, and things like that,
They
so.
pour concrete on top of it, it takes care of it, stops moving.
Gone, can't see
It's
it.
gone, can't see it.
I was doing a site visit, I had someone just cut the silt fence at the bottom and just throw loam on top of it, but left out the fact that they just cut it. It was clearly visible. stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Fun facts. All right. Any other discussion on that? Hearing none. I will, as-built checklist, review draft document and adopt for use. I think, Bree, did you put this together? It's basically just stating that, I'll share it if that makes the most sense, which it probably does. All structures, location of driveway, limit of work, wetland line, and any other items as requested. Do we wanna put on here, like, grading, final grades?
I would lean towards yes. Especially if there are any steep areas, that would verify if they were to be designed at say 3-to-1.
Yep.
And they're steeper than that.
You wanna stipulate that?
Well,
If it's not there, then,
Yeah, but you wanna stipulate some type of a grade, so if it's flat, you're not going for 2-foot intervals over 100 feet.
no, we just wanna see the final grading.
cause we see it in the beginning.
I'm just giving an example, like, if we know an area is pretty steep, we'd see that in the final grading of the as-built.
Other thoughts?
Utilities? I don't know.
Off the grid houses, it's Rutland.
Off the
You
grid.
shush.
What do you think about grades?
But what?
Yes, grades.
It's grades.
What about any utilities? Is that normal?
Um,
Shown?
Not as,
Like water sewer lines connections?
I don't think we need that necessarily, but would we want, like, if there are gutters and downspouts with a discharge pipe in the backyard, would we wanna see that on an as-built plan?
like in foundation drains and stuff like that?
Yeah, roof drains, foundation drains, things like that.
I think you're getting kinda complex.
Based on your face, I'm thinking.
I think you're getting kinda complex. I mean, you wanna know what color shutters they are too? I mean,
Yeah, type sizes, materials, I want it all of it.
right.
It would help on that one on Turkey Hill where it was just like that random pipe coming out
Right.
that ended up
Yeah.
not being anything.
Right, just buried, just
It was
extra
just, it was just extra.
construction debris that looked
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I think sometimes that's site dependent too.
It is, yeah. I mean, some projects won't have it,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And some will.
I'll give you a grading,
I'd take the grading over
yeah.
your roof
Jared, maybe
specs.
that can fall under any other item
There you
requested,
go.
if you guys
I could
would
push for it
revisit.
later on.
You can push for,
There's still hope.
and yeah, this isn't, set in stone, it's more of a
Yeah.
guidance document for submittals. Thoughts? Concerns, questions? So do we wanna add, is adding grading make sense? To compare it to the approved? We can still discuss this at next meeting.
We can discuss it next meeting.
Peter being
See,
here
I-
would be good.
Like, my thing is that add grading, but I'd almost be like, add grading over a certain percent, that's just, I mean, is what it is, I mean, on a simple lot, it's, I can't justify the cost of doing it. I mean, perfect example, do a lot on Main Street, that's just, how many grades you want? There's nothing there.
If it's flat, then.
When it's, if it's Bryce on some of those or whatever, I could see adding grading. That's what I'm saying. So again, if we can figure a way to make it a little site specific.
Well, if it's one of those things that we wanna put in there,
Think about during the conditions.
as required, project on a project basis, yep, we could do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those
If it's a
because
really flat site,
I
you
think
could
some
say,
places,
yeah, we don't need it.
some places need it, but I don't think every single one
That's a
needs
good
it.
point, no,
That
that's
is
a good point.
Because again, it is an added cost.
Yeah.
Because only
No, it
thing that's gonna
is.
happen is she's gonna have friggin' primers
to-
instead of friggin'.
No, they have to take more spot shots out there to create contours, yeah.
I mean, I've seen some of the contours and some of them, you look at them and go, how long did that take?
Right, so I'd say it's good as is.
Well, can you put site-specific grades?
Yeah, maybe,
So just take note, because we're gonna talk about it anyways, so we don't forget.
yeah, okay.
We are getting old here.
Yeah, I'm getting old.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, but for now, I think the
Yes.
things listed are
Yes.
definitely things that we will stick
Yes.
by.
Yes.
Alright, so no, nothing else on that. Number 5 is wetlands bylaw, which we're not gonna talk about because Peter is in the back room and not part of it,
Perfect.
and it's 7:39 and I'm done.
Time out.
You have 2 more minutes?
Oh, yes,
You got,
yes,
you got your conservation,
Thank you.
I mean.
I was here early, but the door was closed, so.
it's okay.
We're so welcoming these days.
Yes. So, my name's Craig Bacon. Just have 2 quick, just kind of things to throw at you. One project that I am working on as the excavation contractor, it's at 99 Glenwood Place extension. They're building a shed, so I'm getting just a slab ready for a shed, and the shed is 20 by 24. This house is less than a year old. There was order of conditions, obviously, for the construction of the house. The shed is in the buffer zone. As you can see on the plan here, it's right here. But like I said, no foundation to slab, it's actually going in established lawn. So just throwing it out there as far as direction.
Is the order still open?
Good question. I wasn't the builder or involved in that at all.
Melissa, check, do
Are
you
the,
remember what
um,
year it was built, Craig?
Is it so,
It was built 2022.
Oh, alright, so that would be on the SharePoint.
What's the address again?
It's 99 Glenwood Place extension, and it's also on this plan, this is a septic design site plan, lot 10R Glenwood Place extension.
so fenced over there? Kinda?
Yeah, it's
Well,
probably still kinda there,
I
yeah.
didn't say intact, I said there.
Yeah, like I said, the whole lawn is all established, it's all landscaped. It's
No,
like
the
done.
reason I'm asking that is it's one of those, it's a point.
Yeah, the erosion control line, you can see it here, so I'm sure there's still some silt fest there.
Yeah, that probably still.
It's less than a year, I mean.
Well, it might not be intact, but
They've been there for 6 months.
I don't think it's closed. If it is, then it hasn't been recorded. So if it's still open, one thing we could do is just request an administrative amendment, although it's kind of big. But if it's within the limit of work, then,
Oh, yeah,
which
it's
it
totally
is.
within the, it's
How
not
big is
even
that?
20 by 24.
20 by 24?
But it's right up against, it attaches to the driveway right next to the house. It's just on flat grass. It's like just a flat grass area. It's not near the, it's not built into any slope or of any type.
It's not an additional garage, right?
No, he's just putting, it's for his tractors and his lawnmower and stuff.
Yeah.
How
the
far
toys.
from the wetland?
20 scale, so the wetland is gonna be probably, I don't have my scale, but 60 feet probably from the closest wetland.
how flat is it?
Where the shed is going is perfectly flat. It's actually all in the same gradient line, right flat with the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a 4-foot slope, 20 feet from the shed. This is, like I said, it's already established. It goes down to the erosion
It's
control line.
previously disturbed land,
So I would say if it's open, put in a formal request. I think administrative requests should be
Yeah.
fine. If it's closed, then an RDA probably be the best way forward.
So how do we find out if it's still open?
I'm pretty sure it is,
I can confirm it.
but yeah.
So I just send you an email?
I'll leave that.
Yeah, touch base with Tamika. That's what I did.
Alright,
So
I was
did.
gonna check DEP, cause don't they usually?
They don't do COCs.
Oh, they don't?
No, they
Oh.
suck.
yeah, and it's like I said, it's just a slab, it's no foundation, so.
Wait, no, maybe not.
Melissa, did you check the SharePoint?
I didn't check the SharePoint, but I checked the registry of deeds, which only has the order and the extension. So assumedly,
Okay.
nothing else is linked to it, so it's probably open still.
Yeah, and I'm sure it is, cause they just moved in maybe 5-6 months ago.
It's still
Yeah.
open
Still
then.
open.
So that'll be the easiest one.
They the original owners?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the,
Okay.
they purchased it from.
So Melissa, if it is still
Say,
open,
how did it
is you
transfer?
comfortable
Well, good
with
question. Yeah.
making, me doing something administratively, or do you wanna vote on it the next time,
I
or?
would say vote on it the next time
Okay,
and get just an email request to Tamika and Bree
Okay,
asking for the amendment. I think Tamika will give you all the information on the order number and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
thank
And
you.
if he's gonna do it, he should just at least do that line again.
Refresh erosion.
Just
Yeah,
refresh it.
definitely, if it's laid, if it's.
Yeah, it's just one of
not in
those,
good
I
shape,
mean,
we'll put it
just,
back up.
yeah, it's just one of
It's right
those,
on
just
the
that
plan
one
here, so
piece.
It's easy to scale off the plan. Absolutely, we'll do that.
That's why I asked if it was still there, because.
Yeah,
And then
I
when,
believe it is still there.
Well,
but
put it
it
where you know
probably
where,
needs
put it
some
where you
work.
know where it is, it's one of those, stand it back up and put another in front of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Once it's refreshed, just give Bree a call.
Oh,
She'll go
yeah.
out and check it.
I'll meet you out there.
Yeah, we've been in contact
Yeah, I
today, so.
emailed Bree today, yes.
Right.
Awesome.
About
Okay,
this.
so that was that.
One more quick thing, so also with the contractor on a barn demolition, the barn is actually collapsed, it's at 18 Davis Street. My part of it is I'm the excavator operator that's just removing the wood, we're not doing any excavation work. The barn is partially collapsed, it's still attached to the house, it's a very dangerous situation. And I've been hired just to remove the debris and make the area safe without any excavation. The only thing I have to do is, I'm just gonna put a tracking pad at the road on the lawn, on the established grass, just so that the lawn isn't, mudded up at all. Cause I gotta put the wood in dumpsters to have it removed. And that's
Those are
the
those pictures
extent
I
of the
sent.
job. And, yeah, that's like, I'd like to get that going like right away, cause the woman that owns it has grandchildren, and the driveway just literally ends and there's a 8-foot drop into the collapsed barn, so she wants that all stabilized and cleaned up. So
One of
there's
the
a
things that
permit.
I saw over there, excuse me, Craig.
Yep.
When Scott and I went over, there's a pretty significant stone wall between the barn
In the wetland.
and wetlands. I mean, when I say significant, it's a stone wall.
That's the one in your pictures.
Those
right?
are the pictures.
Yeah, you can see it. It's pretty
And
obvious.
even in the middle, I mean, did you look at that, Bruce? Did you go over there?
No, I didn't get
Oh,
a
okay.
chance. I
Yeah.
contacted Steve Lange and he never responded to me.
Yeah, Steve Lange, yeah, that's the contractor, so I was hired by Steve Lange to remove the debris.
But is that even wetlands in the bottom of that?
I mean,
It's in the buffer zone,
Is it?
yeah.
What's in?
We're
the
not even
buffer zone?
removing the foundation, we're
Right.
just
The whole
removing there's this nails
Yeah,
and.
it was an existing
Sorry.
Right.
structure in there before.
Oh, yeah.
We're just removing all the jagged stuff, the steel and everything.
I feel strongly about it because it's a safety concern. And there's that stone wall. If you look in the pictures, it's pretty well depicted. There's nothing gonna get beyond that stone wall to get into the wetlands. So because of a safe, just, I don't know if you saw the magnitude of it, and what's hanging off of the house. But I would say that, let them get it out of there.
And you said you're not removing the foundation?
No,
So
not
would
just, no, all I've been hired to do, and that's all that's happening while I'm there, is we're removing the wood and the steel and the debris. And the only thing I have to do, like I said, at the road, is I'm gonna use tailings, clean tailings to make a tracking pad, so that there's no dirt, mud, the lawn doesn't get churned up and dragged down in the road.
Okay.
You taking a piece on the back of the house down too?
Yeah,
Still
that's gonna be-
attached?
Yeah, it's like kinda still
Yeah,
attached,
oh,
yeah, it's
it's-
getting removed also, yeah.
Is there a location where the dumpsters could be outside the buffer?
I don't believe the dumpsters would be in the buffer, they'll be at the edge of the driveway, so.
I mean, it's hard for me to know
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Steve didn't respond to me,
Oh,
so.
you didn't you haven't been there?
Yeah, I gave him a call, like he
Okay.
asked, and he did not pick up. I sent him a follow-up email. I didn't get a
Oh.
response. So, these are the kind of things that I would have spoken about with him, but
So the dumpsters will only be on site I'm gonna actually have dumpsters coming, I'll load them while, an hour later, that one will be gone, another one will be back. So nothing's gonna be hanging around there, that's getting rained on or washed on, or it's just gonna be.
You're not gonna have more than two there at any
No.
given minute.
There'll be probably just, I have it set up where,
Bring it in,
yes,
bring it full one
and they're
out.
just gonna go dump it, and when they get back, the next one's gonna be waiting for them, it's just gonna be a nice neat
that was
circle.
gonna be one of my questions
Yeah.
to,
Okay.
yeah.
Are there concerns, questions, thoughts? I'd say just formulate with,
Yeah, we
Read the
we
plan.
can meet, I guess, next week. I had told you via email this afternoon, I was gonna be gone this weekend, it's gonna rain, I may not be going away, so Friday possibly I could meet you.
Okay,
I'm not sure, I'll know tomorrow morning, so I
okay,
can send you an email.
yeah, let me
And I
know.
could meet you over there I can meet at the either site.
Sounds good.
But if not, it can be
What are they putting up?
We said next
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
Wednesday.
What are they putting up at the end of the driveway? Just gonna put snow fence or
Yeah, they're
something?
they're gonna build something
That's a
safe
heck of a
for now,
job.
yeah. I think they're eventually going to build a new garage there.
Oh.
However, there's not, the plans aren't even drawn yet.
I
so-
almost pushed Joe in.
Yeah.
I
that's-
believe that.
You could just drive right off the edge. But I think they're gonna eventually build a garage to attach to the house, so.
Okay. Yeah, as long as nothing's, I think, touching with the foundation, then
Yeah.
just removal of wood.
So all it is just woody debris, some
Wood-
steel, you know,
wood that's on the
whatever's in the,
ground.
whatever the barn was made out of.
Any other piece that's gonna tear the rest of the house off, it's just
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah, it's
I saw
falling
one of
off.
those pictures, it looks like it was gonna just
It's- yeah, it's like
slowly
it's
take the
pulling
house.
the house down.
And that's from standing here, you're going, you can picture what's under the house?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
hopefully a strong breeze doesn't blow.
Yeah, it just fell down. She felt her house shake a little bit. She had just been in there an hour earlier in the
Oh,
barn.
God.
When did it come down?
4 months ago, I think.
Oh.
She went out and it was just gone.
Cause it's funny, if you look
The
at,
whole
if you look at GIS, the barn's still standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the
Yeah, it was
massive, you can see
recently
the massive size of that thing.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at your
160
pictures, that's how
by
big this thing
16.
was?
I know, it
It's
looks like it's
gigantic.
like a
Yeah.
tall shed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's bigger than the house, almost.
They just put a new roof on it 5 years ago. Imagine how dangerous was that job? Adding all that extra weight to it. It's amazing it didn't collapse when they
Surprised
put
it
the
didn't go
roof.
down
I'm
then.
surprised it didn't go down then, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright,
I mean, so I won't
Yeah,
take any
just-
more of your time, so.
follow up with her and then, you
Yep.
know, we'll do a before and after, just to check in.
Yep, perfect.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody. And I'll shoot you an email tomorrow morning if I'm gonna be here or not on Friday,
Perfect.
okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig.
Jess,
Oh, thank you very much.
you got something else, Jesse?
I don't think so. I mean, this project on 56, I mean, I just don't understand why. We brought it up at several meetings before even Palm Augusta started coming around, with the work, and it's just getting worse and worse. And I just wanted to thank Scott because unfortunately Tracy said that to you, but without knowing you, you know, we'd really be in a lot of trouble down here, so. My parents do live in the house now, the property is fully occupied, so whatever needs to be done, please take care of it right away.
And, well, I'm gonna talk, I really don't care. Anyways, and the other thing when I talked to is when we walked the other day, and Bree was there, his father was saying, he goes, you know, the biggest problem they have now is, because now it just goes to a stormwater thing to a point, is since they reconfigured the road, even it is now, 60% of the water off 56 comes down their driveway. So that's a stormwater issue.
Didn't Alan even note that?
I don't know, we walked it last Wednesday, and that was his thing, he goes, you know, we're talking about this, we're talking about sediment that is on one side to the other side. And we're walking, and we go up by the road, and your father comes up, and he goes, the problem is, every time it rains, because they put the mulch bills in, it's right down his driveway, flushing through his septic system. And that's a stormwater issue there, and it's runoff going on somebody else's property.
Yeah.
Again, your father's, I forgot where he said he was going, but he had more doctor's appointments and other stuff.
Yeah.
But see, I mean, he told us both of that, and you look at it, you go, you can see it,
Would Board of Health be able to help at all?
it's stormwater, it's water.
Yeah, but if it's impacting the septic,
Yeah, but it's stormwater.
it's impacting the septic. It's worth a shot.
It's worth asking.
It's worth a
I
shot.
agree.
We probably have this
I'm
board
sure.
board should have bigger teeth than that.
Yeah,
Well, you would bet that it wouldn't.
but if you can hit it
Impact
from
the
multiple
septic.
sides, you'd rather have more
Right.
than less.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely us, but if it's a public
Right.
safety and health issue
Right.
as well,
Right.
then that sometimes has more urgent.
Okay. That's fine. Can I ask, do you have the plans for 56?
I did print them out,
Okay. No, I don't, no, not now.
but they're like this size. So it's, you know, it's hard to
That's hard
really
to-
tell.
Again, not to,
Do we have them electronically somewhere?
I had a paper set, and I don't know what I did with them. But my question, somebody asked me the other day. Again, sorry, I talked to the public. But they asked me, they said, okay, so you put all new storm drains in and all new drainage. Where's it go? There's no sedimentation ponds. Where's the stormwater go? Where's the stormwater plan for that project?
Were they deep sump? I don't remember.
Deep sump and hooded catch
Yeah, I
basins,
thought
they should
were
be.
deep sump hooded.
But that's a lot of water.
Maybe,
Yeah.
At the
can one
bottom
of
of
you
the
ask,
hill,
Yeah.
DOT
every time
for
it
an
rains,
electronic
I'm
set
surprised no
plans?
cars are flying off the road.
It just,
there.
because again, I'm not trying to whatever, but it came up and you kind of go, well, any other project has
Yeah.
ponds, and you're going, where's it go? It's a new project.
So, I we'll have one of them
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
the
yeah.
plans from
Just,
DOT.
again, I'm not, again, I don't
No, it's
try
a
to
good
muddy,
point.
I don't try
It's
to
a good
muddy
point.
water on this, but you look at it and go, everything else we talk about stormwater, and you're going, here's this huge thing with a ton of water.
Cause they had to meet the standards, so
Yeah,
Where's it, but that's my question, is where's it go?
I don't remember, it was so long.
I don't either.
I don't either. It may not necessarily require a pond because they're just rebuilding an existing road, so.
It's all new structures.
Well, what they should have at a
Well-
minimum, deep some catch basins with hoods.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, did they add like water quality
Well-
structures, you know, something like a contact.
Well, don't
or
forget
You
something.
gotta remember, this was all gone through DEP as well.
Well,
Right.
part of it
So a
too
lot
is,
of things got waived.
but part of it too is you might have to deal with, if you think about it, they widen the road, you got 5-foot sidewalks, plus all the imperviouses.
point.
You created a whole new thing by widening that
Yeah,
road.
that's a good point. That
They
is
created a lot more
impervious.
impervious surface.
Right.
And I'm not trying to catch them in something,
Yeah,
but you're talking water quality again here on something they keep pushing back on. And you're going, you added a ton of impervious surface.
Yeah, there definitely wasn't any like basins or
There's no
swales.
basins,
'cause
and
mitigation would be
and that's what I don't get. Because you're looking
Must
at,
have been.
but you look at stormwater and go, so if you took 5 feet over the 1.25 miles,
it's a
lot.
lot.
that's half an acre
It's a
of
lot.
impervious. How you get away with, how you can do that without a basin somewhere, I don't know. So we might wanna look at that again?
Yeah.
I know we have signed off on stuff, and
Yeah.
other people signed off, but kinda be nice to know where it goes.
Try to touch base
Yeah.
with Adele
Yeah.
and Tracy. and-
It's a random question that came up from somebody, and I went, all that water on the structure, where's it go? I went, I didn't know where it went originally, I just figured it.
They need to be containing it within the project site, so they shouldn't be diverting it to
Right.
site.
And the amount of water that comes down that road, you're going, wherever it's going, you would think you'd know where the outflow is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
There might be multiple discharge points, I'm sure there are.
Oh, I can tell you where some of them are.
Whether intentional or not.
Somebody's gonna buy me a
Oh.
new house.
And the other thing we have to let them know about is at the rail trail crossing, on what side of the road are you on? East side, north side, west side, whatever. Of Palmagussit.
On Joe's side.
Joe's side.
Joe's
No
side.
side.
At there is a catch basin. It's a crossover balancing catch basin to bring the water from both sides, so it balanced it, that was never tied back into the project.
Yeah, you got catch
And
basins.
it's
that are
just
going
sitting,
nowhere.
that's the one that they clogged when they blew the water line.
Yeah.
That one is not tied back into this project, it's just hanging there and nothing goes into it.
Okay.
Sorry, I walked the road
Don't be
But
sorry.
we can't
as a
talk
concerned
about it.
citizen.
Scott, we can't talk about it.
You can, I can't.
I can't.
Sure, no,
That's why I'm here.
He hasn't made enough ruckus yet. Okay.
And I can see how they would miss that one.
I wonder what the plan calls for. Does it call for maintaining that structure or getting rid of it?
It was part of the plan
It was
for
part of the
drain-
original.
Part of the original plan, so you'd have to tie it back in,
Think it
because it
would
was
be
a balance,
maintained.
it was a balance act for the runners off the road,
Yeah.
so you don't have a choice but to put it back in,
Concom specifically had them design that in
on the original road.
on the original,
Okay.
when they did the crossing for the rail trail.
Got it.
And I think it just got forgotten.
Yeah, probably.
Because there was an issue, and DEP and DCR, Bill Pooler from DCR actually came down and visited that site to see what we were talking about. And DEP requested that DCR require a pipe down the side of the rail trail at the time. And DCR chose to ignore that, so it's just an open pit full of mosquitoes now that we get to enjoy down there.
Okay.
So we'll get the electronic plans, send them out to us, and we will take a look for next time.
So you want me to request the electronic plans from DOT?
Yes, please, the approved plans. Electronically, because we clearly have hard
Oh my
copies,
god,
but
that's why I was like this.
PDFs,
I
plan.
mean, Glenda might be able to remove those glasses she wears, but nobody else could.
You should be glad I don't wear my
I'm gonna
glasses,
go
cause they're
over
about this
every-
thick.
You've come in with them,
With a-
I have, haven't I?
you have. I remember everything, that's my problem.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Anything else?
Nope.
Motion adjourned?
Second,
All those in favor?
Langer, aye. Glenda.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Williams and I.
She has to actually say it though.
Williamson,
You all said that?
Joe,
You okay with it?
Joe, Joe,
Go.
What?
adjourn.
Roll call.
Thank you. Dan's eye. We are adjourned at 7:59.